Hey guys, Lewis here, and I'm here with another game for you guys today. It is Plague Inc. Evolved. I love this game. I just got it off Steam a couple days ago. I've been playing it for a bit. I love the game. It really brings back my memories of playing games like Pandemic and Pandemic 2, basically a virus and plague simulator. Not sure if the guys behind Plague Inc. are the same guys who created Pandemic, but this game is definitely heavily influenced by it. This is still early access, so there are several features that are not available. Like there's going to be a multiplayer. As you can see, it's still early access and they're still working on it. Right now on Steam, I believe it's going for about $14.99. It's a great game. Not much to show, graphically, because it's usually just a map with the various transportation, like planes and ships. But it is a fun game. Although, if you're not really into that, but you still want to get the game, I would probably wait for maybe a Steam sale when the prices go down a little bit. But I love the game, so I bought it at the price that it is right now. So we're gonna go ahead and go into single player. There's a couple other stuff like the main game, the speed runs, official scenarios and custom scenarios, and the tutorial. Well, these three I believe are not in the game just yet. We're just gonna do some plague runs on the main game. So there's a couple of things right off the bat we can choose from. Obviously you have to unlock the plagues by beating the plague before it, so in order to get the virus you would need to kill off the world using the bacteria. And the goal of the game is infect the world and kill all humans. Simple as that. So first off you have stuff like the bacteria, the virus, fungus, the neuroax worm, parasites, prions, nanovirus, bioweapons, and then there's of course some cheat modes once you beat everything on brutal or higher. And right now there is the necro virus in the works. I believe it's already available with some other games. It hasn't been made yet for the Steam version just yet, but I love that one because if you can see it, and judging by the name, you can tell that's going to be some sort of zombie virus. I'm not gonna do a full entire series of this game. Like, I'm not gonna run through all the different various plagues you can play as, but I mean I might if that's what you guys want me to. Let me know in the comments or something. But I'm gonna play a select few just to give you an idea of what the game is about. So in this case, I'm gonna play as the virus. You can also modify your genetic codes. These are basically like traits that you can give your virus right off on the get-go, and you unlock these traits by beating the game. It doesn't matter which, actually I think it has to be normal. The difficulty has to be normal or higher in order to unlock one of these, or that's the plague, I'm not sure. It's been a while, but basically every time you win a game you unlock a different type of gene. So for example, you have DNA genes here. There's 5 of them, so you have like ATP boost, so you get starting DNA points, cytochrome charge, extra DNA from popping orange DNA bubbles, metabolic jump, basically more DNA from the red bubbles of biohazard infections, the catalytic switch, which is basically every time you destroy a research bubble you get points from that. And of course the metabolic hijack, which is basically just an automatic way of popping orange and red bubbles. So we're gonna go, actually I want to switch this gene out to the catalytic switch, because in the late game you're not going to be infecting that many countries. You're not going to have enough DNA points to support your evolution, so we'll go with that. Then there's other stuff like the mutation genes, like Darwinus. Basically our plague has an increased chance of mutating on its own without us having to evolve it. There's the creationist, which is the complete opposite, which is basically decreasing the chance if we want to keep things stable. Genetic mimic, our plague is harder to cure, because once humans manage to come up with a cure, they will cure you. There's no stopping it. You can only delay it. You can stop it, you just have to kill enough humans. Then there's base oxidization. Basically our plagues can mutate transmissions easier, but it's easier to cure those types of transmissions. Then there's the base hydrolysis. Your plague can mutate abilities and it's easier to cure. I'm gonna go with genetic mimic for obvious reasons, because cures can sometimes be very difficult to keep up with. Then you got your travel genes. They're basically like transmissions, but in this case they help boost. So you got stuff like Terracite, which is increased spread by land, Arrow by air, Aqua by sea, Suppression. Basically, if someone closes their border, your infected still have a chance of crossing the border. And then there's Native Biome, which is to increase the infectivity in the starting country. I like the Aqua site though, because as you'll see in a bit, there's a couple countries that are really difficult to get into. Then you got your environmental genes, so you got Xerophile, which is bonus in arid climates like deserts, Hydrophile, plague a bonus in humid climates, rural, plagues in rural areas, Herbophile, bonus in urban areas, and then Extremal, which is basically all of these and the code, I believe. I don't know, it doesn't actually show it in the image, but it gives a minor bonus in all environments. It's not much, but it gives your plague a little more flexibility. And then lastly, why is these called the travel genes? Well, that's probably an oversight on the creators, because we already have a travel genes and these aren't exactly travel. But basically we have the ionized helix, bonus DNA when devolving your virus. So let's say you get a symptom like coughing, but you don't want that, so you can devolve it and get rid of it. So we get extra DNA for devolving. Then there's translations, cost to devolve doesn't increase. Symptostasis, symptom cost don't increase but easier to cure. Easy way of, blitzing the humans. Pathostasis, ability cost don't increase but easier to cure. And transstasis, basically transmissions, but also easier to cure as long as but the costs don't increase. We're gonna keep Sympto though, and we're gonna go ahead and continue. So there's 4 difficulties as of now. Not sure if they're ever gonna add more, but you got your casual, so it's for the new players. No one washes their hands, research doctors don't work, and sick people are given hugs. Because, we care about the people who are sick. Now, on to normal, for the experienced genetic strategists. 67.3% of people wash their hands. Doctor works 3 days a week, and sick people are ignored. On brutal, for strategic geniuses living in concrete bunkers. I like that. Compulsive hand washing, doctors never go home, sick people locked in prison. I love the humor in this game. This game is quite funny. And then Mega Brutal, for players who thought brutal was casual. Genetic drift impacts evolution. Doctors invest in research. Random medical checkups. I've only beaten, I believe, only the virus and the Neurax worm on Mega Brutal because they really start working on the cure really early. But for the sake of making videos for you guys and keeping it brief, we're going to be doing it on normal. So let's go ahead and we're going... Yeah, as you can see, I've did a quick test recording earlier to see if this would run well with my recording software, and so far it runs pretty well. So I am going to call this virus Specimen RHG after the channel, and we are gonna spread through the world. Let's begin. Welcome to Plague Gang. You are a new virus. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans in the ultimate plague. Select your start location. So we gotta go ahead and select our location and then pop the start bubble to confirm. Since we are a virus, we want a good country that gives us access to a lot of countries, while at the same time wouldn't raise too much suspicion. So for example, something like the US. They're a wealthy nation, it's relatively urban, and I believe that's the only bonuses it has to start off with, so our virus wouldn't do well there, because we would need to adapt to their medicine. So we'd be better off in a poorer country, somewhere like Africa, but these are mainly land borders, so we wouldn't have access to airports or seaports right away. India, well, it's got both what we need. It's got a relatively sizable population, and it has some land borders, but it is humid, and sometimes the small population gets infected really easily, and then they realize that we are a virus in their country. So we're gonna go for a high population with high modes of transportation. So the best candidate for that is China. As you can see, it only has an urban setting. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that biohazard. Specimen RHG begins in China. has infected its first human, weak and unspecialized. It must evolve using DNA points to infect more people. So we're gonna go ahead and speed up the game just a little bit so that we can build up our DNA points. So we have a virus disease type. This means it is randomly mutated rapidly and can be hard to control, and it costs DNA points to devolve. So viruses can mutate if unchecked. So I gotta keep an eye on that. There's a DNA bubble, so we're gonna go ahead and pop that. So let me show you the disease panel here. As you can see, you got the start date, plague types, genetic complexity, daily infections, etc. All your basic stats. But the main thing here is these three. We have infectivity. This is how it shows you how much we have a rate of infecting someone. This is how severe the virus is considered by the humans. The higher the severity, the more heat we're gonna pull towards us, meaning the sooner they will start working on a cure. We want to keep this as low as possible. Same thing with lethal for now. We want to keep that next to nothing so that we don't kill off our infected victims so we can still spread. Then you have these various ability trees with the transmissions, which we'll get into later, the symptoms trees, and the abilities tree. But like I said, we'll get to that in a bit. For now, we're going to let our infection spread across China and then hopefully to the rest of the world. So some people would consider, well actually where was I going with that train of thought? Oh yeah, I was playing this a couple of days ago. Actually hold on, you also get various news that pops up. Some of them are humorous, some of them that you can make use of. So, Festival of Love in China. China celebrates the Festival of Love. Fans praise the replacement for International Kissing Day. Critics question hygiene standards. That's going to help us out because that's going to boost some infection as people are drawn towards each other. As you can see, our infection rate is starting to go up and our DNA points are stacking. So as I was saying, I was playing this the other day and my buddy was watching me play and, evolve the DNA, and it's like, Lewis, I would be worried if you ever got access to genetic manipulation as well as virus and bacteria. And I just had to laugh at him. Insomnia symptom mutated. Specimen RJG has mutated and developed the insomnia symptom without using DNA points. Well, right off the bat, that is drawing heat towards me. See, as you can see, the severity has already gone up. We're gonna go ahead and devolve that. It costed us 3 DNA points though. We want to keep a low profile for now. I want to get into some other countries and involve my transmissions before we start worrying about symptoms. What was that last one? Historic space mission plan, blockbuster FPS will not be controversial. Yeah, I'd like to see that happen. There's a lot of humor in this game. Spanish galleon found off Ecuadorian coast. The New Zealand Center of Magnetic Field Shift. A recent fluctuation in the Earth's magnetic field is claimed by scientists to be strong enough to be harnessed by New Zealand as a source of power. Interesting, but nothing that can help our virus. Alright, we do have 39 DNA points saved up, so I might look into some transmissions. European Union plans new federal anthem. Interesting. But again, not helpful to our virus. We're gonna go ahead and start working on our transmissions. So we got stuff like birds, rodents, insects, blood contact, livestock, air, and of course water. Since going by sea is a lot rougher for our virus to expand, or travel I should say, we're gonna start with water, and so we can start boarding their ships. And since we also bought the Water 2 transmission, we can now survive in chemically treated water. So this is going to help us out with increased infectivity, especially in humid environments, and ship transmission. We're also going to put some in air transmission so we can travel on dust particles. This is going to help us in arid environments. So our virus, once it reaches a critical amount, will start spreading to other countries from China, hopefully by air and sea. New 3D TV sets may enhance brain power. Well, I'd like to have that. And so we've reached the UK. We've infected the UK now. However, they are a wealthy nation. They are cold, so our virus is going to need to build up some resistances. Anemia symptom has mutated. Well, we don't want that right now. Let's go ahead and devolve that. How much severity is that? It's not much, actually. Yeah, we'll devolve it for now. I don't want... We'll take as little severity as much as possible. New console admits to always on power requirement. That was obviously a nod back to the Xbox, always powered by... always needed an internet connection. What was that? Japan avoids fiscal meltdown. Well, we could always get to Japan and cause a panic. That would help. Alright, so we're now in Southeast Asia. Oh my god, the infection is spreading. That was... See how fast this can run? Alright, what was that? Man runs with scissors. 12 hospitalized. See, kids? Don't run with scissors. Alright, we're spreading. We're spreading! It's everywhere! You cannot stop the virus. The virus infects everyone. Alright, so now that we got a wider variety to work with, we're going to go ahead and up our transmission rate. So we're going to give the organism the ability to survive suspended in air for a long time, thus increasing the amount of infection. Alright, looks like we made it to Japan. Looks like we made it to France as well. We're going to definitely have to work on our resistances very soon. The rash symptom has mutated, so that's basically going to spread in infectivity, but it is a little more noticeable. And we'll go ahead and devolve that. We want to stay off the radar as long as possible. We can also keep tabs of our virus through the world menu. So right now, as far as the world's concerned, we haven't even been noticed, and we've already been in these countries. There's still a lot more to go. And you can, this game is very detailed. If you select a certain country, you can read up on its BIOS, see what you can do to adapt to its environments and its standards. It's very in-depth. I really like the game. Anybody who likes these strategy kind of games will have hours of entertainment like I have. Alright, so now that our transmission rate, I'm debating on going with extreme bioaerosol right now. Basically, as you can see, pathogen bypasses air and water filters due to adaptive cellular shell, increase infectivity, especially in humid and arid climates, and plane and ship transmission. That's a major transmission boost. But I do want to start working on resistances. I'll go for the infectivity for now. We can work on our resistance later. So as you can see, the world is starting to reach a certain point where their infection is starting to take hold. As long as we can remain off the radar for a little while longer, we should be safe. Until then, we'll keep popping bubbles and getting more DNA points. Global warming. Cold countries getting colder. Latest research shows that cold countries are getting significantly colder due to global warming. So that's something we're going to have to adapt to. And now that we're in Canada, it's perfect timing to get the cold resistance. Boost our infection rate in cold countries. Now as you can see, some countries, especially with the plains and seaports... Wow, coughing symptom. I might devolve that. Yeah, we're gonna devolve that. I don't want to be too noticeable. And coughing is noticeable. Costs us 6 points. Sure, why not? Alright, as I was saying though, some countries only have seaports, meaning they can only be accessed by ships, like Greenland and Madagascar over here. Those countries can be very difficult to get into if the country that's trading with them shuts down their seaports. Other countries like these in Africa have primarily land borders, and you would need to spread across land. Luckily right now though, we are getting lucky with our transmissions, and we just evolved the coughing again. I could devolve it for 7 points, but I'm actually at this point, we're reaching a point where we want more infectivity. So let's go ahead and enhance our drug resistance so we can survive basic medicine, and we'll go ahead and put some into heat resistance so we can survive heat. I'm not sure I want to put anything into more transmissions for now. We'll hold our points for now. Sometimes it can be very hectic because multiple countries will be infected at once and you're just struggling to pop all the bubbles. As you can see, I'm starting to struggle right now. But with other viruses... Oh, looks like they're starting to get on to us. Rumors of mysterious illness in China. Rumors are spreading of a mysterious illness which is sweeping through China. However, doctors find no evidence of ill health. Good. Do not find evidence of me. I want to infect more people. How many countries have we infected? Alright, we have everybody but the Caribbean, West Africa, Central Africa, Morocco, and Algeria. We won't worry about those because those are land borders. It's the Caribbean I'm worried about because it's by sea. Alright, the nausea symptom has mutated. Let's see how severe that is. We want to stay off the radar. It's not that... Well, it has a slight chance of kissing. Yeah, we'll keep it. Just need to get into the Caribbean. I don't know which country trades with them. New minor disease spreading. In a normal checkup, a doctor in South Africa found a new disease which has been named specimen RHG. It appears to be mostly harmless, but must be investigated further. Other countries are also reporting this disease. Alright, so they're starting to become aware of our presence. We need to step our game up and get into the other countries soon. I know for a fact that the US does trade with the Caribbean, so hopefully they start getting enough people onto it. There we go. Once we have some infected footholds in all countries, we'll be good. Alright, we have the rash symptom. We're gonna keep that so it continues to increase infectivity. Egypt starts work on a cure. Egypt is the first to instruct doctors to begin research into a cure for specimen RHG. Without greater funding, it is expected to take a long time. Good. As long as one of the world leaders don't start doing it. Alright, the only country that hasn't been infected is Morocco, and they can only be accessed by land borders. West Africa and Algeria are nowhere near too high infected population to reach them. I don't want to spend any points on my transmissions right now. Alright, vomiting symptom mutated. Alright, there we go. We're in Morocco. Good. We have a foothold in all countries. The exposure of infected material through projectile vomiting increases the risk of infection, but it also raises our severity. As you can see, we've almost infected the entire world. Now, it's the point to start increasing our infectivity. Let's see, we'll go ahead. We'll invest into cyst, because that does boost our infectivity a bit. Go into asbestos, because that's increased, but it also is more severe. I might wait on that. We're gonna go for hypersensitivity, because that will help us with their immune system, and rich regions will be more affected by this. How about this? Well, we'll get sneezing in, because sneezing always increases the infection rate. I would put the immune suppression in, but that might let our virus evolve too prematurely. Specimen RHG placed on watch list. Our virus has been placed on the RMS watch list. Although not very dangerous, governments warn that a more deadly strain could appear. Oh, it will. Trust me, it will. Alright, they got 1% on their cure right now. Come on, we need to get more infections going. Paralysis symptom mutated. Alright, that's gonna slow down their research because that's a little more difficult to cure. The first death occurs in the UK. First death of specimen RHG has been confirmed in the UK. Bad luck, or the beginning of something terrible? Oh, it's the beginning, alright. Mexico shuts down airports. Mexico has been the first country to try to limit the spread of specimen RHG by limiting access into and out of the country. Time will tell if this will work. Well, it obviously won't. Oh, this is not good. Saudi Arabia leading global cure effort. Saudi Arabia has started to send research team to infected countries hoping to speed up development of cure for specimen RHG, pop blue bubbles to destroy their research. And since we do have that gene, every time we pop and destroy their research bubbles, we get DNA points from it. Thank you. You are funding our DNA efforts. Thank you, humanity. Alright, so let's go ahead and increase our infectivity. We'll boost into the fever. we'll get the skin lesions, and now that they're on to us, we don't really have to worry about severity. We'll put into asbestos. I don't want to put into the necrosis just yet because that raises lethal quite a lot, although I might have to consider it because they are starting to focus on a cure. Yeah, I'll do it. Also, in the event that people die, decomposing bodies will remain a vector of transmission, so we can still have a way of spreading the virus around. And some countries will take drastic action, like they will bomb their cities to destroy the infection or execute the infected. We need to prevent that. So as you can see, they already have deaths occurring globally. However, we're still having trouble in Canada, although it just means their population is bigger. So we got hemorrhagic shock symptom. That's definitely going to raise the lethal a bit. What was that exactly again? Severe loss of blood volume causes oxygen deprivation, loss of consciousness, and death. Well, that's going to definitely stack well with the necrosis. We'll go into insomnia, make people less productive on the cure. We'll also invest into paranoia so that infected victims will distrust health officials, I should say. That should set their cures back a little bit. Global research focused on cure, so that's what we're worried about. So now we have to evolve aggressively. They're at 10% on the cure. Argentina begins to break down. Normal life in Argentina is beginning to break down due to specimen RHG. Cure research is starting to slow. Lovely, that's what I love to hear. I think the one country that's doing well right now is Canada. Alright, destroy that. Germany sets up trauma centers. Seizure symptoms mutated. Very nice. Deaths are occurring. Greater amounts. Let's go ahead and increase that rate. We'll also increase our mutation rate. Let's see. I could buy the viral instability, which also ups our random mutations. But I'm gonna invest into genetic hardening and hardening 2 so that we can slow their research. Because we have a good death rate going right now. At this rate, we'll have the world in no time. Canada is starting to go. They're reaching critical mass for infection. The world is dying, and it's all because of my virus. Sweden in anarchy. Sweden is the first to fall into anarchy due to specimen RHG. No cure research can take place. Lovely. This game brings out the evil in me, I swear. There are no healthy people left in the world. The last healthy person on the planet recently became infected with specimen RHG. Lovely. Alright, since everybody is infected, let's kick up the lethal. We'll start giving people comas. We'll go into total organ failure. What else is more lethal here? Yeah, what else is more lethal than total organ failure? Why not? Let's kick some salt in the wounds. Systemic, tumors, internal hemorrhaging. That's definitely more. And since we do have that symptom trait, our symptom genes are cheaper to buy. So let's go ahead and get into systematic. We'll also invest in tumors. What else is lethal in this list for now? We'll hold on for now, because I did see some research bubbles, so I'm going to get some points from that. Look at the population go! They're less than 1 billion. The cure is only at 19% and slowing. Look at the world die. This is definitely one of those games where it's like, you question your state of mind and how much you hate humanity sometimes. I mean, yeah, everybody has a rough day, and understandably so. It's not an easy world out there. And sometimes games like these, it kind of helps you out a little bit. Well, we could get inflammation. It's harder to cure, and it's a bit fatal. But we'll get no more. We'll get the fibrosis because that's a little more lethal. Odemia will lethal. Diarrhea is a bit lethal. We could always get insanity to make it harder for them to cure, not that they're having enough time to do so. We'll go with inflammation. We'll go with the edemia. We still got points to spare. What else can we go with? More dangerous in cold countries like Canada, so we'll go with that. Hemophilia, immune system produces inhibitors that destroy factor 8, preventing blood clotting. Infectivity increase. Well, we're done infecting, plus we're at infection max. We'll go for the extra little bit of lethal. Oh, we still got points, huh? Well, what else can we kick salt in the wounds in? People in cold climates, especially vulnerable, that's gonna be useful. And we still got points. We'll go with hemophilia. Dysentery mutated on its own. Let's kick some more salt in the wounds. East Africa government has fallen. How is the world doing? Look at the amount of countries that are just completely died off. You didn't see me coming. Specimen RHG to destroy humanity. Specimen RHG has destroyed the world despite the world's best effort, which is 18%. The last few humans know that they're watching the end of history. Oh, look at them go! They're dropping like flies! And we killed the world! Victory! Specimen RHG has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. So as you can see here, it took us 613 days, a little over 2 years. Is it over 2 years or is that 2 years? No, it's a little under 2 years, I should say. Alright, so it's a little under 2 years it took for our virus to kill everybody. They only made it up to 18% on the cure. We got a score of 36,970 points. And you can see here that it actually gives us a way to watch our virus spread through the world. So you can just speed through it, but I'm not going to sit here for all 613 days. There's other stuff like charts you can see, like this is what they needed for their cure, as it just continuously increased. Whereas the research conducted went like this. And you can see all sorts of little things. Let me go ahead and turn these off. Like, for example, infectivity. It started out here, and then it just ramped up. How severe it got? That's how severe it got. How lethal? That's how lethal. Like I said, this is a really interesting game. It's very fun. Definitely a great way for you just to mess around with, you know, post-apocalyptic scenarios dealing with viruses. And I'm one of those guys who are a huge fan of that. Like, back in the days, like movies like Contagion with Matt Damon, there's World War Z. Even though that's a zombie movie, it's still a virus, and it's very interesting to consider what could happen to the world. Anyway, so I think that's it for this video. If you guys want me to do more, I'll do a couple more episodes, maybe on a couple of the other viruses. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a whole series on all of them, unless you guys want me to. Let me know in the comments what you guys want me to do. So, that's it for this episode of Plague Inc. Involved. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.